It's an honor to be sitting up here with such so many great people, scholars. I really don't know where to start, but first of all, I seek refuge to God from the evil whispers of Satan. And I sorry for being late, but I hear Mr. Williams talking about quarterbacks and players and all that. But you can't score a touchdown in the huddle. And we're in the huddle right now. And we're trying to call some plays that we hope we can go out there and run effectively. And I was sitting at work last night about 3 in the morning, and I watched a video somebody sent me, a Houston Police Department serving a warrant from an individual from the northeast side of Houston, where I'm from. And his mom walked out and he asked her, was he inside? And she said yes. And I guess she was afraid of her son. You know, I ain't never really had no feelings for you guys. God has changed something about me. And it wasn't the fact that I hated you, it's just the fact that I was taught to hate you. And I really didn't hate you. You know, sometimes we have to go within ourselves and find out what the real problem is. You know, I grew up playing characters of being a player, a hustler, a pimp, a gangster. And wherever I go, depending on what type of environment I was in, that's the character I would play. You know, as I had said once before, I was an original member of the Greenspoint Posse. I was really one of the founders of the Greenspoint Posse. And I'm still connected with those guys. They call themselves the Goodson family in Greenspoint now. And a lot of them have jobs today. And there's a saying, you can't think your way into a better way of acting. You have to act your way into a better way of thinking. And I've been to prison 6 times, and I always thought, you know, I would get caught up in riots in prison, and they would tear gas us, and I would be crying and eyes burning, hands burning, sticking my face in the toilet and flushing it so we can relieve the tension of the burning sensation. And I would always call out to God, God, just get me out of there this time. This time I'm gonna change, you know. And there's also a verse in the Quran that speaks about us being on a ship out in the water, and it's calm and a storm comes. And when the storm comes, everybody's calling out to God to get us back to land safely. And once we make it back to land, we go back to doing what we was doing in the first place. And I would get out of prison. They would give me my $200 checks at the Huntsville. My mom then would pick me up, take me straight to North Line Mall, buy me some tennis shoes. Right at that particular time, everything that I thought I was gonna do disappeared. Because rather than saying, okay, get out here and do something for yourself, it's sort of like they would greet me and like, yeah, you home from prison and all that. Like, you know, if my mama wouldn't have never bummed me out that first time, I probably would have never went 6 times. You know, and what I'm trying to hit at is this is an individual thing. You know, first of all, I want to commend you guys and on your commencement of being police officers. But I always remember, you have to check into the power before you hit your beat. Because the trials are coming, the tests are coming. People like me that don't understand you are coming. Ain't no way around it. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live this thing. So the best thing I can do is tap into the power, which is God. God, please help me be able to respond rather than to react today. This is me. Oh God, I'm a student. The world is my classroom, and y'all are my teachers and professors. I have to learn how to respond to people like you, no matter what I'm going through. This is what my religion teaches me. You know, there's a word that's called qadr, and Allah controls the qadr of everything, whether it's good or bad, or when I'm frustrated or whatever I'm going through. I have to believe that God is in control of that, and the lesson is for me. It don't matter if you're being prejudiced, it doesn't matter if you're being arrogant. The test is for me to develop some sort of compassion and love and tolerance through understanding what I've been through in life. You know, all the kids that I put drugs into their hands and had selling drugs for me, all those guilt and shameful things that I did to people in my past, I was always walking around with that shame and guilt. And you have to get that stuff up out of you. And I said you can't think your way into a better way of acting, you have to act your way into a better way of thinking. So we at the Fifth Ward Islamic Center for Human Development established an environment. And everybody that's involved are people that were just like me, that were struggling from drugs and alcohol addiction, gang activity, drug selling, and things like that. And what we do is we surrender our time to help people that suffer just like we do and help those who are willing to help themselves. And this is the most important thing of our mission. In my religion, it teaches us to come together on common terms, and that's what we're doing right now. It doesn't matter what our belief is, but we're all on the same mission to create a healthy community for everyone. You know, we all want to go to work and go home safe. We all want to go to where we're going to come home safe. But we all have to learn how to work together in spite of what's going on. So if the hostile party is on the opposite side of me, it's up to me to stay calm. You know, they teach you this, but you got to get tested with this. And it doesn't feel good. You know, that's why we always say we seek refuge to Allah from evil whispers of Shaitan, because somebody is whispering something. When I see something, my mindset just changes. But it's coming from a whisper that I'm not in control of. And I can't protect myself unless I call on the power. I have to check into the power before it happens because I have the experience. So when I go back into those areas, because I have to go back in order to recover, and let those who are still struggling to see, hey man, if I can change, you can change. You know, I heard Jaime Fletcher's story a long time ago. And then no matter where we at, where we from, it's the same story. Hurt people hurt people. And to the hurt person that's hurt, understand that he played a part into getting hurt, we're going to keep on hurting each other. You understand? Hurt people hurt people. I'm only hurting you because somebody hurt me. You ain't never did nothing to me, but you always send my brother to prison, and my mama would take me down there to sin, but we would always get praise when we come home from prison, so we walked around with our chest stuck out. But really, I was in prison on the weight pile every day, eating much as I can, trying to look as big as possible because I was afraid. And I didn't want nobody to know what I was really going through in there. So I walked around and showed my pictures of selling drugs and all that, trying to be who I wasn't. I never know who Joseph was. I just found out who Joseph was when I turned 40 years old, when I decided to fully surrender to God, to turn my will and my life over to God and go in and clean all those bad things inside me up and eradicate that stuff and offset it with a new set of conceptions and motives. So I stopped selling drugs. I got me a job. I stopped chasing women. I got married. I quit trying to run con and game on people and start trying to help people. You see, if you don't replace it with something, then nothing is going to change. You have to offset it with something, because I'm still that gangster. I'm still that prejudiced person. And that person shows up all the time. But I'm on with the facts about myself today. So the most important thing for you all to understand that it takes me to change the hood. It's not y'all duty to change the hood. It takes the hood to change the hood. It takes people who have been through the hood, grew up in the hood, to go back and help those who are struggling in the hood. But we need y'all protection. But we also need y'all understanding. You understand? So we have to get out that snitch mentality and understand that, look here, man, we struggling, homeboy. You ain't tired of going to prison? Because I became real resentful when I went down to prison and didn't nobody send me no pictures and no money. You understand? So I became resentful and I'm going to show them mentality, and went back out there and went to a different area with a different set of people and became another character and wound up back in prison. And it was a cycle, vicious cycle. It was like drinking a bottle of poison and waiting on y'all to die. I was killing myself. So this is an inside job. Until the inside job is taken care of, there's back in the 60s, what to say, the revolution will not be televised, right? A revolutionary is a person who constitutes and brings about a radical change. So the individual has to tap into the fact that, hey, I'm really the problem. And if I don't never check that inside person, then we ain't gonna never be able to get nothing together. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is that by meeting the CPOP fellows and hearing some of their experiences over at the Fifth Ward Islamic Center the other day, I understand that y'all got problems too. Y'all struggle just like I do. And that's extremely important for people to reveal who they really are and quit fronting. Quit putting on the front all the time. You understand? I'm afraid. I'm pretty sure you guys are afraid. And when I saw that officer go down from that video shot, it caught them off guard because they wasn't expecting it. Mainly because they probably saw the guy's mom. But that man was hurting. I don't know what he was afraid of or why he shot, but he did. And he really committed suicide because you ain't had no win. You know what I'm saying? So mental illness is real. And we have to understand the fact that a lot of us are mentally ill and don't know it. And I'm one of them. Some of us suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but we do have the capacity to recover if we can learn how to be honest with ourselves. So that's what I did. And that's what I have to implement to those who are struggling. And that's the problem. I just put another guy, I have a transitional home. I just put a guy out the other night. I put 2 guys out in less than a week. And this guy is a guy that I grew up with. He passed the drug test, but I could tell he was getting high on something. And so the other guy went in the house and found a bag. He got high and forgot his little stash of Kush or K2 on the dresser. So when he came in, I said, man, you got to go home, boy. You know what I'm saying? Man, what you talking about? I say the Kush. Oh, I had a gal over here. Gals ain't supposed to be up in here. You know what I mean? A homeboy that I really love that I had to kick out. Because that's what it takes. We need to quit this homeboy, homegirl stuff and learn how to check people for their little old stuff. You know what I'm understand? So I put him out and I told him, it's bigger than me, homeboy. We got to learn how to respect each other. You know what I mean? So that's the message I have for you guys today. Like I said, once again, congratulations. And I always remember, tap into the power. This is called faith in blue. So who do you have faith in? Your captain, your sergeant, or your major, or God? Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.